All right, so it's that time of the show where we talk about something that's going on. Like,
I can't wait for this talk.
What's it called? Oh yeah. So this happened. That's what this is. So this happened. So for most of you watching right now, up until this point, we have been pretty just trying to be entertaining. Like, the point of this podcast is multiple things, but number one, we just want to give a good perspective of conversations that could be and should be having between Christian people happening. And just honestly, if nothing else, if you laugh during this episode, if you think, oh man, that's funny, like for real, people are like, oh, but man, you're not talking about the Bible enough or whatever. Dude, I'm just trying to start a conversation. I'm trying to give you insight into things that we talk about every day and let you realize that this whole idea of being a Christian, being a follower of God, is not just we sit down every day and pray. We sit down and read the Bible, and we don't know what's going on in the city, in our country, in our nation. And so this is kind of one of those moments where some people could get offended.
Oh, yeah. We're about to step on toes, baby.
We're about to step on toes and each other's toes because in the early conversations build up to what we're about to talk about, we do not have the same perspective. And what I want to bring to this conversation that we're about to have is this crazy idea, this insane narrative that two people could see something from different perspectives and not agree with one another and still get along, still walk out of this room and go, hey, I still love you. I still want the best for you. I want you to feel validated and that I have a better understanding of how you see it.
Right.
And we don't have to go, all right, screw you. I'm blocking you on Instagram now.
Blocked.
I'm blocking you on Facebook. Don't ever text me until you get your mind right and understand it the way I do.
Yeah.
We can't be friends. Or you're dumb because you don't see it this way.
Right.
Or anything like that. Because the truth is, we all look at life through our lenses that were created by our perspective and our upbringing and our interactions with people. And so if we all saw things the same just because we're Christian, it would be such a bland and boring life.
Yep.
But because of social media now, we all have to think the same way, or we're idiots, or we're sheep, or we're fearful, or we're whatever, or we're believing the bias of the media, which I know it exists.
But
that
right there.
And this is why I was even when we started this conversation, I was even a little bit shy of doing that because I'm a big believer in you just don't know all the facts.
Yes.
You don't, which is true. But it's not something it's not something that I'm willing to hide behind to not talk about something.
Right.
Because I do believe the information we're given is put through a filter of the media. Mm-hmm. And so it's tough for me just to say, oh yeah, this happened, so this is how I automatically have to believe, because I know I wasn't sitting there. I wasn't standing there. I didn't see the events firsthand. I'm getting secondhand information, and it's secondhand information that will try to skew me one side or the other. So with all that being said, I'm not going to try to preface any more of our conversation, but we're going to talk about what happened in Ohio this past week, where a police officer fired his weapon and put down and ended up killing a young girl who was holding a knife. And I think the broader scope of why it's such a big deal in our nation right now is obviously police is a big hot button topic right now. Racially, it's a big hot button topic. And a huge platform owner of LeBron James tweeted out an immediate reaction to it with what he has said. He did not have all the information. This was just a heartfelt response because on the same day as when George Floyd's verdict was put out as guilty, and he was prefacing that, all right, we got this taken care of. Now I just heard about this. You're next, is pretty much what he said. Yeah. And then has since come back and said, I was wrong, didn't have it. But obviously a lot of people are martyring him or saying, whatever.
We're not going to
we're not watching the game anymore.
We're not watching the game at our bar.
And so with that being said, and I want to make sure that I get Micaiah Bryant was her name. I don't know what the police officer's name was. But just so we're all working with the same scope of information.
Yes.
We're just going to pretend like everything we've heard right now is not what we're talking about right now. You give me the storyline.
Okay.
that you have heard that we're going to work this.
Okay, this is what.
Go ahead.
I'm going off what I've heard.
I got it.
That's what we're going off of,
Yep.
right? Okay. Young lady. She was being bullied.
Okay.
She runs to her house.
Got it.
Calls 911.
Yep.
Comes out. 911 gets there. Comes out with a knife, and starts attacking the girls who were attacking her. And while she was attacking this one girl, or trying to attack a girl, a police officer, shoots her once in the head, and I think 3 times in the chest.
Took 4 shots.
4 shots.
To the point where she was dead.
Dead.
Okay.
Now,
let's just information first.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So one more, just to recap.
Yeah.
She was being bullied.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how severe.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't videotapes of the bully that we know of.
Right.
You are getting this information not just from what you read, but you also have seen the video, which you're not going to put here. It's too graphic.
Mm-hmm.
And you're coming to your assumptions based on the information you have, that just as you said, she was being bullied. She went inside her house to escape the bullying that was happening. Called 911. Obviously, those girls were outside of her house because she walked outside of her house with a knife while the police were present. And then, as you said, began to attempt to attack the girls with the knife that she was holding, at which time the police officer drew his weapon, shot, and killed her.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, with this conversation,
can
we do 2 things?
We sure can.
Because to me, it's not about color.
Yep.
So that's taken out. I don't want to talk about that because I don't believe. Oh, he shot her because she was black. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I don't believe that.
Gotcha.
And I don't believe that staying in her house was a good thing. But we'll talk about that later. That's something else we'll talk about.
Gotcha. All right, where do you want to go with it first?
What I want to go with it is life. That's what we have a agreements on that kind of.
Protect life. Yep.
Protect life.
Yeah, we are both in 100% agreement that, and for me, I'll speak on my behalf because I don't want to speak for you.
Yeah.
Anytime life is lost, it's sad.
Yes.
Anytime life is lost, I wish there was another way for it to be handled to where that did not happen.
Right.
However, I understand in situations and circumstances, whether you agree or not, there are times where taking a life, in my opinion, is the only outcome to protect other life. Okay? So I'll just say
that's
that.
That's good. Because I'm on the opposite side
of
that.
Go
you
ahead.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I feel with training, it can all be prevented. Unless, like, a knife, a gun, that doesn't add up to me. A gun adds up to me.
Okay, so
yeah, go ahead.
I just thought about this. Help me. If a knife was given to police officers as a way to protect themselves, would you have felt better if that police officer would have ran at her with his own knife, attacked, and killed her?
No.
Okay.
Because
so from you, who have obviously not been trained in police
been trained in police
how would you have liked the incident to gone down?
Okay. As a person, everybody knows I work with kids. Sure. Everybody knows that I work at.
And how old is this young lady, by the way?
16.
Okay. Wow.
So everybody knows that I work with trauma, kids with trauma.
Sure.
We are taught, and mind you, there's been times that kids try to pick up stuff and hit you with it.
Sure.
Stab you with it, everything else. These are kids who are escalated. Escalated means upset.
Sure.
Okay? Now, this was a young lady who was upset.
Sure.
She went inside because she was upset and scared and got a knife and brought it out. Now, as a person who's been trained in SOMA and Yakuru and in TBRI, we're taught to see a kid and see a person. Mm-hmm. For instance, like we it's more than what it is, basically. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So a kid could be like, what does this mean? If you see a kid doing this, what are you thinking?
He's about to hit somebody.
But why is he going to hit somebody?
For sure. You're asking the why question behind the
exactly.
Right.
So, okay. So these officers were, I feel, should have been trained to first de-escalate the situation.
Do we know that didn't happen?
I mean, from what I saw, it was like it was too much going on.
Sure.
Right. Which is true because it was a girl. She came out
multiple
immediately.
People.
Yeah, multiple
this
people.
This wasn't a girl just coming outside of our house waving a knife at the police.
No, she came out to hurt, and I'm not denying that at all.
Sure.
She definitely came out to hurt because I mean you could see the stance that she was in before she perished. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just feel like it could have.
Okay. Because I know you.
Yeah.
I know your desire is it for it to have gone a different way.
Yeah.
Tell me this.
My question
is your desire to save her life, is that clouding you from understanding what had to happen in the moment?
The reason why what's clouding me is two things: training and non-lethal weapons that are on the police officer.
Sure.
Though that's what's I guess clouding my vision of why she
because because in your mind you're thinking he could have pulled a taser and maybe put her down.
He could have hit her with a billy club in back of the dome and she would have been asleep.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And one of the things that we're getting into is that we're looking at one scenario.
Yes.
And police training is built on thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of interactions, and then them continually reworking those situations and thinking to themselves, what's a different way we could have handled this? Great, let's update the training now that we know.
But if the training is updated to shoot to kill?
Okay, first of all, I think because I have a little bit of...
Yeah.
I went through concealed handgun license training, and one of the things they teach you is very similar to what they teach. When you shoot, it's always to kill. You don't shoot to stop. You don't shoot to wing. You don't shoot in the air as a safety, because every bullet that leaves your gun is your responsibility.
Yes, it is.
And if you're taking the action to fire that gun, it is to stop someone from doing you or someone else danger.
That's true.
And there's nothing on you, because you're not a physician, that can say, let me shoot him in the leg just to slow him down. So, and I understand the other side of it is like, man, why do you have to shoot 4 times? Once you pull the trigger, you're shooting to put that person down, period.
Exactly.
Because you're already to the point where you're thinking, if I don't pull the trigger, this person's going to do harm or danger to someone else.
Yes.
And here's my other point to this. If he would have waited to fire until it had escalated further, what if she would have reached out with that knife, got that girl in a neck or a vein that they could not stop the bleeding, that girl perishes?
Yes.
Now what do you think?
It would have been a terrible tragedy. It would have been another life being taken.
Would you have thought to yourself the opposite of what you're thinking now? Oh, if he would have put her down, they would have saved the life of that other girl.
I would have. I still would have felt like, dang, there had to be a better way of doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's because
in your heart you're thinking, you're wanting, which I completely understand. Why does anybody have to die?
No, it's not even just that. It's because I deal with kids that are 16, 17, 18 who go through trauma, and some of them will come at you with a knife.
For sure.
Some of them will try to stab you, but
sure.
We're not out in there knocking kids out either. You know what I'm saying? We're not, oh, he's got a knife, let me get my knife and stick him back. No.
But do you have but you have some understanding of that kid. You work with that kid on a consistent basis, right?
But when they first come in.
Okay.
When they first come in, it's not always honeymoon phase.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Especially at RTCs. RTCs are the worst of the worst. You go into a RTC, you might as well go into the state pen. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I just feel, this is Mason's opinion, I feel that if you're coming in to a situation, training should kick in, and it did. And he did what he was supposed to do, which I don't believe is right.
Okay.
He came in, he saw weapon, bang, 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 neutralized. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't be that.
I don't think it's just that. I believe that police officer saw weapon with intent to do harm. Again, if she walked out of their house, she's 30 feet away from those girls, she's just holding a knife, do you think he shoots her?
Yes.
Really?
I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Y'all want to hear 100? Y'all want to hear 100? This is Mason being 100 because I heard this on my post. I made a post And I heard, well, why didn't she just stay in the house? Why didn't she just stay in the house? And what if she stayed in the house and she came in the door with that knife? Tatiana Jefferson had a video game controller. I'm just being real right now. You know what I'm saying? It's and this is I'm trying not to go to the racist situation because it's not. I'm just saying in this situation, I feel that if what she did was wrong. That's accountability. I'm giving her, she's 110% wrong. All right. But say that the officer saw the threat, was going at her, she was about to shoot, and he missed 2 shots. And the other 2 ended up in the other girl. That would have been 2 bodies right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For no reason. When it was an easy tase. Hit her with a billy club. Run and rush her. Grab her.
Okay.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. I get you. And again, training's built off stuff that has happened in the past.
Yes.
What if he rushes her, and in the process, she turns, gets him, same thing. Artery, that police officer dies because he was trying to stop something.
Right. I did yet again. I'd be in the same situation where I would say, yeah, another person died. That shouldn't have happened.
Exactly. But how do you protect one without doing the other?
This is my thing. This is what I don't understand. Okay. I'm an old dude. I'm 41. I grew up in an age when I used to see cops beat people up. You know what I'm saying? I'm in an age where I used to see cops run after people. Remember foot chases? What happened to those?
Yeah.
What happened to somebody with, get him, 1 at him 12, 1 at him 12. You know what I'm saying? On cops. They don't do that no more. It's just like, okay, I don't care. I'm not going to bang, 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 bang. No, it can't be that every time. And I'm sure it's not. I know it's more visible. Like we're not going to get to the media thing, but you know that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just feel that life was taken and it didn't have to. I feel that it really could have been an easy beat her up. I know that's so weird to say, but that's how bad it is. It's so bad that I'd rather see people get beat up than shot. And that's white, black, Mexicans, anything. You know what I'm saying?
Obviously, we would rather for someone not to have died.
Yes.
Right. I think that's the point you're trying to make. My side of it is that how do you know that him taking those shots and ending this girl's life? No, but how do you know that him ending that girl's life didn't save those other 3 girls' lives?
Because it went right this time. It went right. It went the way it should have went. As in if you are a police officer in police officer training, it went the right way. So that's how it went. It went the right way in the police officer state of mind. But I just feel that if you're to protect and serve, one person was protected. You feel what I'm saying? The other person wasn't. And when both of them could have been protected. You know what I'm saying?
From your perspective. From your perspective.
Yes, from my perspective.
See, I don't think so.
Yeah, I understand that.
You know what I'm saying? I think that yes, he did what he was trained. I also think that you can't separate one incident from all the incidences. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that you can. Dude, I feel for that cop. In the same way I feel for the family of that lost girl, but I feel for that cop in that situation where he's walking in a situation. And again, I don't know because I don't have the information. I hate to keep saying that, but how many times did he yell at her, stop, don't, please, stop, don't, please don't do that. And if she's not listening to that, his mind immediately has to go to the unarmed girls that she's ready to cause danger to. And it's a split second decision. I get it. I get it. We're not going to agree on that.
No, I understand, and I'm with you. But the thing is this: it was a split-second decision, and he was told no. He was saying no, stop, don't do that. Then it was 4 times.
Sure,
clearly.
So do you feel like he did everything he could in that moment to tell her, you're pushing me to a point where this is the only choice I have?
Yes, but I don't feel like that was the only choice. So
it's not in how he did it. It's how you feel like he was trained to do it.
Yes, and I don't feel like he should have been trained to take her out. He should have been trained to neutralize her without.
How would? Okay.
I mean, he has the stuff on him. You know what I'm saying? The taser. Yeah. Like he has something that would get her to stop in that moment.
You hope.
I mean, we hope he didn't shoot the other girl.
I know, but I think in those situations, the police officer's training, and again, I have no perspective except for a few conversations I've had, is that you never try to stop a violent act with a lesser form of the violence. So if she comes out with a I don't know, a pencil or a brick, maybe then but a knife, I think we would both agree, is a very deadly weapon.
A knife is a dangerous weapon.
Dangerous weapon.
Correct. I mean, it's deadly if you're a ninja. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we ain't nobody out here just Luke hanging with a knife like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. I mean, I just.
It only takes one. It only takes.
It does.
One cut in the right spot.
One cut in the right spot. That's true.
And it's a wrap.
But I mean,
I was told about in our training for concealed handgun license, I can't remember if it's a white line or a white light rule, that at a certain amount of feet, a police officer is trained that if a person with a weapon closes in the distance from a certain, based on research that they have seen and done, if a person closes in distance, even if you begin to fire at that person, they're close enough to you with just their momentum. And a gunshot, though it can kill you, it's not an instantaneous.
True.
You know what I'm saying? That with their momentum, they could still reach out and stab you. And it takes one stab in the right spot, and that officer has a loss of life.
Yes.
And so they are trained inside that window. Once that person has closed that gap, you have to take force. And I'm just, again, whether you agree with that training or not, that is what they are trained to do.
That's what they're trained to do.
Again,
I feel it's just excessive.
Okay.
I feel that's really, I mean, a gun for a gun, yeah, let's get it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, see,
that makes sense. But a knife, son, like she's 16. It don't take much to hit a 16-year-old these days. You know what I'm saying? It don't take much to scare a 16-year-old kid if you get in. Like, okay, my thing is this: she was not reasonably in her right mind to come out with a knife and start attacking it. So I understand that. She was not there.
For sure.
She was somewhere else. These girls must have really been messing with her.
Sure.
For her to be like, I don't care if the cops are out there or not. They here now. But because why? That's something else I was trying to understand. Why call and then attack? But that's just a whole other thing. But I don't think she was expecting that. I don't think she was expecting. I don't feel she was expecting that I'm going to lose my life if I go out there, because she was not mentally there. You know what I'm saying? Which is sad, you know? And there was no de-escalation. Where was we need to know more information, like you said, because where was everybody at when she walked out with this knife? Where were the other police officers that automatically showed up when she got shot 4 times? Where were they at? And why was there not a de-escalation? Why were those girls still on the scene?
Bro, why were those girls still there?
Yeah.
Somebody walks out of their house with a knife,
yeah,
I'm out.
I'm out of there. But I mean, it's because police are there and wasn't nobody thinking nothing was going to happen. So, I mean, it's a tough situation. And I mean, you know, I like I said, I posted it on my Facebook, and I got some interesting things said to me. And I was like, what are people thinking? Because
But you know that people are looking at you and going,
like
what is
I'm crazy.
he thinking?
What am I thinking? Yeah. And then
because your perspective based on every encounter that you've ever had with a police officer.
Right.
Versus those and every encounter they've had with a police officer, and you know, good, bad, ugly.
It's so wild how we live in 2 different worlds when it comes to policing.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
That's wild, bro.
Dude, a police officer shows up at my house. My instant reaction is grateful, because I'm assuming that they're there for some reason
So awesome.
to help, because they saw somebody in my neighborhood that I'm grateful that they're there. I don't think that's the same perspective you get.
No, I have to change my voice. Hey, sir. Yeah. Yeah, we had somebody drove by and they did this. Like my whole persona has to change.
So how do we change the narrative? And is it worth changing? Is it you sitting down with, I mean, we've got some incredible police officers that are part of our church.
Definitely.
Buddy.
Definitely.
The police officers that show up.
Yeah.
And again, this is what makes me nervous about having this conversation, is for them to think, you know, out of this conversation that in whatever I'm or you are against them as people
not
or
at
anything
all.
like that.
I'll say this right now. Buddy and Ruth and all them police officers are doing the dopest thing they can be doing in Stop 6.
Absolutely.
Those people in Stop 6 they accepted them.
Yeah.
They are part of Stop 6.
Yeah.
That's rare.
Yeah.
You have to be in that neighborhood for them to be for you like they are.
For sure.
Like, and they go to Metro. You know what I'm saying? Those people make sure their kids go to Metro so they can know who Buddy and them are. So like, it's not our police officers here, and it's not towards you guys.
And I would say, and you might not agree, I think it's the minority of police officers, not the majority.
Facts. I agree with you on that.
You know,
I agree with you on that, but I believe all police officers can have better training. There's nothing wrong with learning more every day, training every day, and knowing more every day, and being put in these situations while training.
See, my perspective tells me that I believe that all police officers want to pull and fire their gun as an ultimate last resort to protect life. And that's just not... That's not yours. Which is where how we get to this discussion.
Yeah, no.
It's different.
Yeah, I don't believe that not all police officers are like that. I mean, you know.
Okay, I'm sorry. I believe that majority, the high majority. We want to talk about
high.
No, in your perspective.
Yeah.
See, we talk about criminals. Is that 1% of criminals that are the vicious, psychopathic? I think that 1% exists in all realms, in all businesses, and everything. And I think the more you focus on that 1%, the more that 1% feels bigger.
And see, that's the thing about it. I want everybody to know, Mason's not anti-cop. I love police officers. I think police officers do some great things in this community.
I think everyone listening to the conversation up until this point would not have known that you were going to say that.
No, for
Which
real.
is what I love about this, is that I know people watching this are immediately like, dang, Mason hates police officers.
Yeah.
Like, Mason is super against it.
Yeah. I know that's what they feel. But at the same time, I could tell you something that will just blow your mind about a police officer that happened to me personally. It's a personal experience. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing that I think we all have to understand is you can't discredit someone's interaction that they had.
Yes, exactly.
That has created the viewpoint that they have.
Exactly.
And for you to go, Mason, I don't care, and I'm making this up completely. I don't care that you got your butt kicked for no reason by a police officer when you were 13. Not everybody's like that, so get over it.
Exactly.
You can't.
Exactly.
You absolutely can't do that in the same way that, I can't give every single police officer that makes a mistake the benefit of the doubt because, we'll know this one time they helped me get my cat out of a tree or they protected me in a moment I was petrified, because I can't give everybody that perspective based on one instance.
In my heart of hearts, I want that perspective.
Yeah.
I want to be able to call a police officer and they come to my house and I know that they're not looking for me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I want that. How you said, what did you say, gratitude? Or what was that you said? Like,
gratitude.
When they come to your house, you're just like, thank God the police are here. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, man, here go the cops.
Listen, and out of everything that happened, and disagree or agree, I was grateful for the verdict that came out with George Floyd. I was grateful that man was given a guilty verdict and that I feel like justice was being served. However, I don't want to throw a blanket over every situation that has ever happened and go, see, they're all do that.
Yeah.
And I think you're the same way.
Yeah, I don't do that at all.
I think we're both, and again, our perspectives are created out of our past and what we've gone through. And yes, you believe training should be increased and there should be better understanding. My side of the fence is that I think that they are oftentimes put in a no-win situation, and I don't care what kind of training you have, there can't be. I don't believe that in those split-second decisions that altering training is going to always protect a life, because I think just as easily as she was put down, I believe that there's a great possibility that if she wasn't, one of those other girls would have lost their lives as well. As we wrap this up, is the last thing I kind of want to bring up to the thought. And for those of you that are watching till now, I hope you're still watching. I hope we didn't tick you off enough that you already unplugged or you wrote your comment and shared it on Facebook. Look at these idiots. Look at Mason. He hates police. He's anti. Is the idea of this. I think I live with not a real, but a definite understanding of the stress that a police officer has to carry with him
Fully.
At all times.
Yes.
The moment he straps on a bulletproof vest.
Yes, for sure.
Puts his gun holster on and pulls over that first car or makes that first phone call, I do believe that everything instinctually inside of him is, I want to go home to my family.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
And we just talked about this for just a second. When a police officer pulls me over, which I've been pulled over a time or two, every time for speeding. But when a police officer pulls me over, there's one of two ways that every interaction has gone for me. One is very casual, polite. How you doing, Mr. Johnston? After he sees my, do you know why I pulled you over today? And normally I'm trying my best to crack a joke because I think to myself, hey, if I make this joker laugh, likelihood of me getting a ticket versus a warning, which over my years of research has played out, that if I can make him like me, the likelihood is. Now, I have had one police officer that was laughing at me, joking with me. All right, bro, well, here's your ticket. Here's how you take it. I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
But it's one of two ways. Number one, he's very cordial. Now, they've never been super aggressive or disrespectful to me, but I also live with this kind of, and we've talked about this before, this empathetic mindset that I always think, even if someone's saying, Brendan, you're fat, ugly, and stupid, in my mind I'm thinking, man, I bet somebody else called him fat, ugly, and stupid, and they're just taking it out on me. So I do have the kind of that feel, but I have had the police officer, and most of the time they're wearing a cowboy hat. Their car says sheriff on it. And they pull me over, and right about the time they get to my back wheel of my car, just so they know that I can see them in my side mirror, you hear the snap, the unsnap of their gun holster.
How did it make you feel?
And this is why I brought this up. The first time they did it, I freaked a little bit.
Right.
But because the interaction never escalated to where he pulled his firearm, every time it happened after that, my mind immediately went into, dang, this joker has no idea who I am, what I'm about. And the reason he just unsnapped his gun is him thinking, if I need to pull my firearm because this joker's got a gun inside his car, or he's got a warrant and he's about to flee, or he's about to whatever, I need to know I've got access to protect myself as quickly as I can.
Right.
So him unsnapping to me isn't, in my mind, and I know you got a different perspective, in my mind, I'm not thinking he just unsnapped because he's wishing I would do something so he can pull that gun out as quickly as he can and put me in the ground. That never crosses my mind. What crosses my mind is that dude is under a ton of stress. He's got a vest on right now that is supposed to protect him from fire that comes on that I have never worn before, and I don't know the weight of, and I don't know how that emotionally impacts you. He's got a gun on his holster. He has been trained countless stories of people that were doing routine traffic stops, which we just had in Burleson just a couple days ago, where a routine traffic stop, hey sir, I pulled you over because pow, 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 pow. Cool. Dude pulls out a gun. And so everything instinctually is look for problems, look for solutions. And so I am hands on 10-2. I have even at night put my hands up against the roof of my car, turn my interior lights on. So I'm trying to make that fool feel as comfortable as he possibly can. Because I'm sitting here going, I know the stress, and I don't want to cause more stress that would lead to whoops. And instinctually, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know the stress this dude's going. I don't know if he just got off of a dead body call.
Facts.
I don't know if he just got off of whatever. And so I'm going to try and make it as comfortable for him as possible.
You're
because
right.
I know the level of stress he's dealing with. Now, from you,
it's totally
somebody walks up, snap, you're immediately thinking, I might lose my life.
I'm threatened.
Crazy,
I feel threatened.
Man. Not crazy. It's just insane that we living so close to each other have two completely.
Yes, I feel that if that's like whenever you go to the hood, you know how your boy, if he had a piece on him, hey, mess with me, what you want to do? That's what that is to me.
Hey, I can go pop a trunk real quick on you. He's not saying, hey, I got some candy in the car. What he's saying is, I'm locked and loaded.
Yes, let me know when it is.
If this needs to escalate, we can do that.
That's what that is to me. Whenever a police officer walks up and he pops that little thing off his gun, that means you are a threat.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I see that as, I must be a threat to him.
Tell me this.
And my demeanor changes and I gotta use my white voice.
Tell me this. Growing up, how many conversations did you have with a police officer that wasn't them coming to you to fix something or to change something that you're doing? Like how many just casual conversations did you have with police officers?
Okay, so I'm gonna say 3.
Okay.
Growing up, and I mean, I'm gonna say
Positive.
positive.
Positive. 3.
Yeah, I
Three
say about
positive.
three or four. I grew up in Weatherford, bro.
So
You know what
I
I'm saying?
got in high school, my sophomore year of high school, before I could even drive.
Yeah.
I was in a class with an ex-police officer, ex-SWAT guy. He was teaching the class, and dude, he gave me perspectives from his side of the law force, and I saw him every single day in class.
Right.
And every single day, he was telling us more and more stories.
But see,
He was telling to us like why a police officer touches the back of your car.
Right.
He was talking about why he stands where he stands, why he parks his car where he parks his car. Because you didn't even think about this. He said one of the most nervous things about pulling a car over on the highway or the street is realizing that more cars are going to be driving past you.
Yes.
And if they're not paying attention,
gone.
they hit you and you're gone. And so you're already walking with that stress, much less what's happening in the car in front of you.
And don't get me wrong, the stress of a police officer, I don't understand it because it's a different level of stress. But I get the stress.
Level, yeah.
But the thing about it is this right here. All right, like how I said, when you're in the hood, whenever you're messing up, somebody pop trunk, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's it's a threat. I don't know if it's just my demeanor. It's just me, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And then, but also
outside of a police officer, when you see a gun, it's someone trying to intimidate you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And so I believe, and again, I'm not trying to get Dr. Drew with you or
you're
anything,
good, you're good.
but I do believe that in the hood, you see someone flash a gun.
Yeah, that means
you're used to it, but you know that person's real.
That person's
and
about that life.
Ready. Yes,
he's about that life.
So you carry that same perspective into a police officer.
Exactly.
Police officer unsnaps his holster. You're thinking, he's about that life.
He's about that life for real. And you know what's crazy? Like growing up and playing basketball and whether for being known, stuff still happened.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it didn't. Oh, you play basketball, so you know what I'm saying? Stuff still happened.
So
pulled over walking while black is what I like to call it. And that's me legitimately walking with a basketball down the street, getting pulled over, getting searched.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
So what I think, which I think is the landing plan for this, is this. I don't think I can look at you and tell you that your perspective is wrong. The same way you can't look at me and tell me my perspective is wrong.
I want your perspective.
Right.
I would love to see cops the way you do.
So, but how do we
Police
do
officers. No one even talking about it like we are.
Yeah.
This right here.
But it's not just about us talking about it. It's about you having more conversations with police officers.
Yes, definitely.
Would you think that's a healthy thing?
Yes, I would.
Wouldn't you? And I don't even. This might already be happening, but I'm thinking inner city schools, especially. Like you already mentioned, what Buddy and Ruth are doing at Stop Six.
Yes.
Buddy is giving those kids a different perspectives of a police officer.
Yes, he is.
I don't think, and this is where I want to land the plane, and you will probably completely disagree with me. I don't think training needs to change. I think kids in middle schools and elementary schools need to have interactions with police officers that aren't always traffic stop. I think you put police officers in schools and allow them to have conversations, it changes.
I thought you was laying in it. I thought you was laying in it because
I'm just saying, for me.
It don't matter.
I know, I get it.
It don't matter. It don't matter if the kids are it don't matter if the kids are doing what they're supposed to do or meeting with cops or cops coming in and whatever. If the police officers aren't.
But here's the deal. I don't
taking
think
those steps
because I have had conversations with police officers and I have a little bit.
So you're saying being with them?
No, I have a very small knowledge of not just their training, but why.
Right.
Like he said to me, when they go to a traffic stop, they're going to stand at the frame of your door. They're not going to put their body in front of your window.
Right.
They're always going to stay a little bit behind you, so you turn your head. And there's multiple reasons for that. Number one, the strongest part of a car, the only part of a car that can stop a bullet, is where that door seam is.
Yeah. Right.
So if you pull a gun, they step back.
I take it back. I agree with you.
So what I'm saying is,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
If a police officer can sit down with a young man or a young girl and say, hey, here's what we're trained to do and here's why, because I'm trying to go home to my family and I'm also trying to protect you.
I agree with
so
that.
You can go home to your family.
I agree with that.
Then when you're in situations like that young girl and his training kicks in, at least now I have a different perspective of his training because I can see that police officer looking at that girl with the knife.
I agree with
walking to those girls, and he's heard the stories and he's seen the bodies of, it was just one cut and now that girl's in the morgue. And so he's thinking to himself, I truly believe I don't want to take her life, but I can't allow her to take someone else's life.
That was good. That's a good
And
landing.
so he acted based on not the intentions of just that girl, but the intentions of the girls that she was attacking. And so in my perspective, he did only have one choice to make. And as sick as that choice is, that's the one he had to make, I feel like that was the choice. And again, I don't feel like every situation, again, kneeling on George Floyd, that's not the only choice you had.
Right.
Breonna Taylor, that's not the only choice you had. But I do understand that sometimes when
Tatiana
adrenaline
Jefferson.
and stress, Tatiana Jefferson, I think that different choices were made. That's why I love that the justice is being put out.
Right.
But at the same time, I think, in every area of life, let's exclude police officers for a second.
Yeah.
Why do I act the way I do? Why do I do things the way I do? Why? Because whether someone trained me to do it this way or not, I have adapted this way of doing things to protect myself, to protect my family, to do different things. You don't understand that until you have a conversation with somebody.
No, I agree. I agree with the conversation situation. That was good. I like that.
You see what I did there, Jaron?
That. I thought it was dope. I mean,
this is where I wanted to be at, man. I know we're never going to have the same perspective because we don't have the same past.
Yeah.
We don't have the same, but my goal is not my goal.
But what you said was good because we're hitting that if we could get to that generation, then if they understand what policing is supposed to look like and police stay to what it's supposed to look like.
Right. See, what I don't, again, retrain or not, I'm sure as every situation happens, there's adaptive training that happens to the police officers. I do know that.
Right.
What I want the training change to happen is I want those police officers to be in schools, meeting kids, having conversation with kids, so that kid grows up with a different perspective of a police officer than just the one that their mom gets pulled over and he's yelling at the mom.
That's gonna be so tough, bro.
It's so tough.
I love it though.
It's so tough.
I love the idea.
But Buddy and Ruth and those police officers in our city are trying to do it.
They're trying to do that. Yes, they are.
And that has to happen nationwide. That has to happen worldwide.
Yeah, to have a hood pass as a cop is a great thing.
You want to change the perspective, change it with the kids.
Yes, there you go.
Because some adults you've already lost.
See, you want me with the babies.
All right, man. That's us for the day. If you stuck around this long, man, hit a like, hit a comment, as I always say. If you're still here, why don't you just write in the comment section still here? It would be great to know that we landed the plane with somebody still on board. Yeah, hey, what an analogy. Big thanks to everybody for making this happen. For Marcy and Terry and everybody else that wrote in comments. Thank you so much. Keep writing your comments. We want to answer more of your questions.
Yeah, Tony.
Just giving random shout outs over here. I look forward to seeing you guys this weekend at Immerse.
Hey, Margie, you got to shout out Margie.
I did already.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's my girl.
Me.
If you're just interested, let me say this. Please come see us in action. Come to church with us sometimes. I'll save you a seat. Mason will save you a seat. We want to see you here, but more than that, just thanks for being a part of the movement. Thanks for being here. Definitely. And we look forward to seeing you next time. For us here, Mason.
Later.
Jaron.
Bye.
Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. God bless.